Wedding season is upon us, and I have already shown you how to make your own bar wedding signs. But today, I'm going to show you how to make the most viral wedding stir sticks of your own pets for free with inside of a program that I love so much called Inkscape. 100% free. We are going to use this program to not only cut our wedding stir sticks out on our xTool P3 or any other xTool that you own that can cut clear acrylic. And then we are also going to use that same program so we can print on the EufyMake UV printer. All right, so let's head over into Inkscape, which again is 100% free, where we design everything in one program. Let's go. If you've never heard of Inkscape, it is 100% free. I love it, have been using it for many, many years, and it is the most amazing tool ever, and I still cannot believe that it's free. To answer the most frequently asked question, this particular program is not found on a mobile device. You have to be using it on a computer. The first thing that you're going to need to do is find the picture that you are going to be using for today's project. I'm going to be using a dog face because those are the most viral things over on Etsy. However, if you wanted to use a human face, you totally can do that. The one thing that I would love to mention here is Inkscape, while it is a very powerful program, it is not a photo editing software. So if you have to do any type of photo edits, lightening, darkening, brightening, all that stuff, you're going to want to do that before you drag it into Inkscape. When you are done with all of your photo edits, I have the picture that I'm going to be using for today's project. I am just going to drag and drop it into Inkscape. This little box is going to pop up. To be honest with you, I have never played around with any of these buttons. I probably should put that do not ask again box in there. I never do. I just press OK. This thing is going to open up large and in charge. That is fine. We'll resize it. I do love the fact that it does open up very large, so you can see what I'm doing. Now, the very first thing we have to do is we have to isolate the face, or if you're doing a body, you're going to isolate just the body. The easiest way to do that, in my opinion, is coming over here and clicking on this pencil tool. Okay, now what you're going to do is you can start anywhere in your project, and what you're going to do is we are going to make an outline around the thing that we want to keep. Okay, so I want to keep, this is Bear, meet Bear. He is my little dog nephew, my best friend's dog. I love him. She is too. I picked a favorite, and this one is my favorite. But we need to only take a line and draw around his face. So I'm going to choose to start at his chin. I'm going to click and then start dragging. And we are just going to draw a thing around Bear. Now, it's going to look a little messy and not perfect. That's okay. We are going to fix this afterwards. But all we're going to do is just drag it around. It's going to look like it's super messy, and then lines are going to be jagged. Again, we'll fix that. But all we want to do is go around. Now, there are softwares like Canva that will allow you to just remove the background automatically. Unfortunately, it doesn't work for this program. Okay, once I've connected to my dot, my first initial dot, I'm just going to let go. And this is what we get. We get something that looks kind of ridiculous. All right. So what I want to do, just to make it easy for me, is I'm going to come over here into the opacity right here. Okay. And I am going to drop, so we did fill and stroke, and I'm going to drop the opacity down just so now I can see Bear's face. Okay. We need to work on these lines. All right. So I'm going to zoom in. I have a trackpad. Zooming in is just zooming in on a normal trackpad. If you don't have a trackpad, you could do command you could do just the plus sign, and it will zoom in for you. Okay. So I'm going to zoom in really close. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right here and I'm going to click this nodes tool. We're going to get all of these little nodes. What we have to do is I actually have this like really weird line here. I'm going to delete these nodes because I don't want them. Okay, now what we're going to do is we are going to refine these lines. Okay, so I'm just going to drag my lines around. just like this. If you have nodes you want to get rid of, you can select a node and delete, okay? And then you just want to keep going around your entire thing, all right? Make sure you get his ears. I don't want any of this background. So I'm going to just take this and drag this close to him and delete some of these nodes. Bring this line in. And I'm sure someone's going to be like, there's an easier way. There is. If you used Canva, if you have Canva, Canva does this super easy. You could definitely do your edits like that in Canva, then import just the face when you are ready to actually make the cutout. You technically can also make this project also in Canva, but I feel like it's the making the stir stick portion of it for an SVG file, it's so hard. I attempted to, when I was originally creating this tutorial, I attempted to only use Canva because a lot of people do use Canva for everything. I believe it's the most popular software. I just could not make it to where it was the easiest flow possible. I was getting frustrated, and I am a firm believer that crafting should not be frustrating. If I'm getting frustrated at a software, you're going to get frustrated too. You know what I mean? So I just decided, you know what? Let's switch it up. Let's only do Inkscape. I love Inkscape. I think I love Canva too, but I do think that Inkscape is a very powerful program, especially when we are going from into two machines, because the xTool software doesn't really communicate really well to the Eufy. Eufy doesn't communicate to the xTool. So this is the only software that I have found, not only is it free, but also that best communicates between both of those programs and softwares and machines the best. Okay. So once you have your cutout looking the way that you want, now everyone's opinions are going to be different. If you think that my cutout looks a little funky monkey, then just keep doing what you need to do to make it look what you want. These are not going to be 100%. They're little, you know what I mean? So if there's a little wiggle room somewhere, if you feel like you didn't like zoom in enough or whatever, you're fine. It's going to be okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is come up here into the arrow tool. Now we only have one copy of these. I do want two. So with this one, I'm going to Command D, which is duplicate. If you don't want to do any keyboard shortcuts, right clicking and doing duplicate, it's right there. Okay, now with the very top one, and will look like you don't have anything there, but for the very top one, it's already selected. You want to press Shift on your keyboard and also click your picture, right? Then what we're going to do is we are going to come up here into Object. We are going to go to Clip, and we are going to Set Clip. And now, bear still looks a little green. We are going to click this green one, the top next green layer, and we'll just put it to the back. So just like this, come up here, go to the back, and do you see how there's our little bear cutout? Okay, so that is what is going to get printed. We're going to print that on the EufyMake UV printer. However, now what we need to do is we need to actually create the SVG file that we cut on the xTool. I'm going to use the xTool P3. You can use the xTool P2, P2S, or the P3 if you want. So, because we are using clear acrylic. All clear acrylic needs to be cut with a CO2 laser cutter. If you have a diode laser, unfortunately, you will not be able to do clear acrylic, but you could do black. There's the wonderful option in black. So we have to create the stick. Can't see it that far, but we have to create that stick and that little ball. We are halfway done with this project, okay? So first thing what I want you to do is select both of your pieces, all right? And we are going to come up here. If you think in millimeters, keep it in millimeters. If you think in inches like me, we're going to come over here and we are going to come up 2 inches and click on inches. Make sure this is locked. We do not want to distort our people's faces and make them look funny, okay? What you're going to do is you're going to resize this. The size that I have here is 1.5 inches wide. So I'm going to do the same thing, 1.5 inches. So 1.5 inches wide, and then we are going to press the go button. If you want to make them bigger, okay, Command D, which is duplicate, we can come over here. You can make them bigger. There's no right or wrong answer. I feel like some people are like stuck to, oh, I want it bigger. I want it larger. You can make it any size you want. All right. Just letting you know the sizes that we have here is 1.5 inches. All right. And I will go ahead and just take two, one in the larger size, one in the smaller size, just so you can see. Then what we are going to do now is we are going to take our green secondary shadows that is going to eventually turn into our stick, okay? If you wanted to keep them tight like this, you totally can. However, it may be hard to see, but on mine, we'll turn it this way so it doesn't shine on you. Come on. Okay, do you see how I have my dog? This is a little Frenchy bulldog that I found online, so it's not actually my dog. But do you see how we have the dog face and there is a shadow, a buffer around this, or an offset, if you will, around the entire dog? I actually kind of like that. It kind of the reason why is because we know while the EufyMake UV printer has a camera, it's not 100% accurate. I would hate for you to be printing this dog and then it not be 100% accurate and then you like cut off half a ear. You know what I mean? When we give ourselves a little buffer around our little cutouts, you're kind of ensuring that your actual dog, human face, or whatever is going to be printed completely, and we're not going to have any cutoff issues. Okay. So clicking on this greenish looking thing, I'm going to Command Shift and the plus sign. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say the plus sign? Let's go back. Command Shift and 0. There we go. Okay. Sorry. Command Shift and the plus sign is a completely different function that we aren't even doing right now. We are going to do that eventually. But right now, it's Command Shift and 0. So it's a parentheses. Did you see how that went out again? One more time. Command Shift, parentheses. You see how it bumped out again? I'm going to leave it at that one. If you want to do more, you can do more. World's your oyster. Make it any size you want, anything like that. If you decide, whoa, that's too big, Command Shift and 9 will bring it back down. Okay. Now I'm going to go over here because I did say I'm going to do both. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to do the same. So zoom out just a little bit. Command Shift and 0. Oop, we got 1. One more time. That's 2. One more time. There's 3. I like that. Personal preference. I like that one. Okay. Now this is going to be the outside layer of our acrylic, right? Now what we're going to do is we need the stick and the optional little circle. Okay. It's hard to see. Where is that? Okay, there you go. Do you see that? Okay. Hard to see because it's clear acrylic, but you get you get my point. Now, not all stir sticks. If you've gotten a stir stick previously, oh, also, if you have like a meat skewer or something like that, like a charcuterie board thing, and you want to make these as charcuterie boards, we can make them tip like triangle tips if you want. Okay, so you can make it whatever end that you want to make it. Okay, but we are going to make the stick. Okay, so I'm going to come over here into this square and I'm just going to draw a square. It doesn't matter what size or anything like that. Just slap a square somewhere on your screen. Come back up here and press the arrow tool. Now, mine that I have is going to be point. Let's see here. Good old calipers. Calipers will make your life in laser cutting so much nicer. The width of mine is 0.15 inches. So I'm going to unlock and I'm going to do width as 0.15. And then your height can be any height that you want. Actually, the width can also be any height that you want. But what I strongly suggest you doing is that if you're creating this for like a champagne glass, you're going to want the stick longer to accommodate. So get yourself your champagne glass so you make your stick or whatever as long as what you needed, okay? But for this tutorial purposes, I'm going to do 8 inches. All right, I'm going to need 2 copies of these because I have 2 different things. So I'm going to Command D, which is duplicate, and I'm going to drag it over here. Okay. And I want these to overlap the green offset that we created. Okay. If you do it like this and we weld it together, there ain't nothing to weld. So We want to drag it up to where they overlap. It doesn't have to be a huge overlap. Just make sure that it's overlapped enough. It is not center right now. Unless I did a very good job eyeballing it, we will do that at the very end. Okay. Now what we're going to do is go all the way down to our very bottom of our stick. I'm going to do a circle. Okay. If you want to do a rectangle, if you want to do a triangle, you're going to do the polygon one and make sure that you have 3 corners because a triangle has 3 corners. We're going to make sure that we have the polygon done right here, and we are going to make a triangle if that's what you want to do. However, I am doing a circle. So I'm just going to take this circle and I'm going to draw a circle. Just like with the rectangle that we did earlier and just like with the triangle, if that's what you want, make it any size you want because we resize it everything later. Okay. So now that we have just one random circle on our screen, we are going to press the arrow tool. And if you wanted this to be an oval, you can keep it an oval. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a circle. And my circle is going to be 0.3 inches wide. So right here, 0.3 inches. All circles are the same on both sides. So 0.3 inches. And there we go. And we're going to drag this to the bottom. Same thing as what we did up top. We want to make sure that there is some overlap. If you don't overlap and when we weld this, there ain't nothing welded. Okay, it's still going to be 2 separate pieces. So we want to make sure that there is some overlap. And then I need a second one over here. So I'm going to Command D, which is duplicate, and drag it over here. Yeah? Everyone with me? Awesome. Okay, what you want to do, because we need to make sure this is all center unless we did a really good job keeping it center. And B, we got to weld this together because right now we got 3 separate pieces. That'd be 4. We have 3 separate pieces. So we're going to click if you are only have one, all you're going to do is click 3 pieces. I have 2 sticks. So I'm going to click the stuff on the left. We are going to click on one, shift on your keyboard, and then also click on your stick. Then what you're going to do is only click the green shadow offset thing. We are not going to click the thing that we are printing. Okay. Then what we're going to do is come over here into this align tool. And I want to relative this to, it doesn't really matter, just not page. I'll do the last selected. And then what you're going to do is you are going to come over here and you're going to center this vertically. Okay. Watch what happens. Ready? Ooh, I did not do a good job centering that, but now it is center, okay? When you have that done, what you're going to do is you're going to press Command Shift, and now, my friends, is where you're going to press the plus sign. Command Shift and the plus sign. Remember, I messed that up earlier? Yep, that's when we use it. Okay, now we're going to do the same with the one on the right. We're going to select our circle, Shift on the keyboard, select your stick, and then you're going to select your shadow. Only the shadow, not the actual thing. We're going to print. And again, Command, Shift, and the plus sign. If you did not want to do your keyboard shortcuts, because a lot of people watch these videos and they say, I don't want to do my keyboard shortcuts. I don't know why, but if you don't want to do them, coming up here into Path, you're going to see Union. That's essentially what we just did. Okay, so right here is the Union button if you don't want to do your keyboard shortcuts. Also, if you are on a Windows computer, obviously Command is a different button. Your keyboard shortcuts will also be listed over here on the right. So just for fun little fact of knowledge for you. Okay, so now technically the design process is finished. However, we have to now turn this into a cut file instead of this really weird green thing. Okay, so I'm going to select both of my green things. You select the one if you're only working on the one. We are going to come over here to the bottom left. We are going to right click on this green fill color and we are going to remove the fill. I'm going to take my stroke. Right now it says unset. I'm going to right click on that and I'm going to make it black right here. Okay. Then I'm going to come over here into this number, right click on that, and I'm going to do 0.1. And now we have a cuttable SVG file. Boop, boop. If you wanted to make multiple copies of this, you totally can do that now. Or if you wanted to do that all in xTool, you totally can. The world is your oyster. It doesn't make things harder or easier if you do it one way or another. The choice is yours. I'm only going to cut these 2 because I don't think my best friend needs a bunch of barrister staves. She's already married. No, maybe she does want a couple. Let's do a couple. I'll do two. I'll do two more. She can have a set of 4. I think a set of 4 will be fine. Okay. So I'm just going to move this one over to, hello. Move this one over to the left a little bit. Okay. And then I will do Command D, which is duplicate, and I will give her a set of 4. I think that will work. What do you think? I think she'll be happy with 4. I didn't tell her I was using my little dog nephew. Oh, well. She'll be all right. Okay, now what we're going to do is, this is the point where it kind of gets a little confusing for some people, but I tell you, once you do it once, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, okay? What we're going to do is we have only been in one software. Now what we have to do is split off into 2, and then we have to cut and then print, okay? So we have to now take this file that looks like one whole file. We need to split it up into two different files for 2 different machines for 2 different softwares, okay? So I am only going to select Shift on my keyboard, all right? Make sure that you have Shift on your keyboard. We are only going to select Shift. We're going to select this stick, all 4 sticks. If you got 16 sticks, do all 16 sticks, okay? Just select all the sticks. Only the stick that we are going to cut out with the xTool. We are not focusing on the cute little bear faces, okay? Then what you're going to do is we are going to come over here into export. If you do not have this, all right, what you want to do is you want to come up here into file, and then where is it? Export right here, okay? It's going to bring up this box. And for whatever reason, it also wants to give me my bear face, which I don't want the bear. So I'm going to take my little selections and I'm going to move them away from bear. Just like that. Do you see how now it's like, you can't see anything. It's just the checkered mark. That's good. Okay. Now at this point, what we have to do is we have to save this as an SVG file. So we're going to come up here from PNG and we are going to go up into SVG, plain SVG. Then we are going to open up our little downloads box, and I want to put this in my downloads folder. Boop, boop. Okay, and I'm going to rename this so I don't forget what we're looking at. Making sure that it's a plain SVG again, we are going to save this. And it should automatically export, but if not, just press that export button. It did. I'm just going to replace it. Just so this right here is going to be what we cut, okay? Now what we're going to do is we are going to open up not the EufyMake Studio software. We are going to go and do the xTool Studio. All right. We are going to come over here into New Project. And then we are going to drag and drop the SVG file that we just created into the xTool Studio. Ta-da! Look at that. It's here. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. Now I'm just going to do most of the setup process that we need to do because my xTool isn't on. We're going to go turn that on right now. But I am going to do unknown material. I always use this setting. No, I am not using black acrylic, but in my opinion, all the settings for every single color all cut the same. So I just default to this. Why? I don't know. But just press apply. Got it. It tells me to take off the masking tape. I actually never do. Okay. We are going to come over here into cut because we want to cut these. And if you wanted to change the settings over, you can come over here into the clip test. I always like to do a faster speed and a faster speed, higher power. So we'll do this one right here. And now we'll click out of that. Okay. Now it's time to go turn on the xTool and get to cutting. Not hard. This is easy peasy stuff. Now, if you've never played with a laser and this is your first time playing with one, all lasers vent out of a window or some sort of air filtration system. I don't use an air filtration. An air filtration system with my xTool P3. I just vent out of a window. You can see that there is no vent right now. That's because I take it and disassemble it every single time because it's ugly and I don't like to see it when I'm not using it. But the setup process for it doesn't take long. Watch, I'll show you. Just open up the windows. And that's it. Lasers are not aesthetically pleasing, and I like to keep it looking as much aesthetically pleasing as possible on most days. And this right here ain't cute. I like cute things. All right, now what I'm going to do is make sure this thing is plugged in. I always unplug it because I am afraid not that it's ever happened. So knock on wood. But I'm afraid that like if we have like a power surge or something like that, that like I don't want this thing to be burnt. So I always unplug it when I'm not using it. But anyways, we're going to turn this on. That is turning on. We're just going to wait for it to continue to turn on. It's not finished, completely finished with its startup process just yet. Okay, now that it's turned on, what we have to do is connect it. So we're just going to connect the xTool. That was easy. Then what we're going to do is I actually have this on an automatic cycle. So what that means is I'm going to be automatically put my material in, and it's going to do all the measuring, figure, like doing a picture of things and stuff like that. So a couple things that you have to remember with the xTool P3 that hangs up a lot of people is going to be the automatic portion of the xTool P3. I have to tell you, once you figure out this machine, it is one of the best lasers that I have ever owned. So see this green light that's right here? That means that it's ready to do its automation, okay? What you're going to do is you are going to set in your clear acrylic. This stuff is from Glowforge because I had like a whole bunch of credits. They no longer sell and it's really expensive. If you're looking for acrylic, go to Houston Acrylic. I love them. Super fast shipping. I just have this because it was free for me because I had credits. Anyways, we're going to lay this into our bed into the center. We're going to wait for this. See how it went red? We're going to wait for it to turn green, and we are going to shut the lid in one fluid motion. Not too fast, not too slow. Now it's doing the automation. See that? It's doing everything for me. It's measuring, taking pictures, doing all the things. Okay. Now at this point, this is going to be what I'm cutting. I do not want to waste material, so I'm going to select this, right click, and press Unglue. You know, to be honest with you, you probably could have done this step in just instead of like duplicating a bunch of stuff in Inkscape, doing it over here probably would have been a lot quicker. But you know what? No, there's not a right or wrong answer. But I am going to hug the corners because I do not like wasting material. I obviously can turn this upside down and hug it just because, again, don't like wasting material. May have been free for me, but I still don't like wasting. And we are going to come over here, do the same, and drag this over here. Now, if you wanted to make 7,200 of these, same process, just duplicate, get it, like fill up all of your entire sheet. Try not to waste on material, okay? We are done here. That's it. That's all you got to do, okay? Now what you're going to do is press process. We already like put in all the settings that we need and stuff like that, okay? Now we're going to press start. For my xTool, I do not have the inline fan on Bluetooth. I don't know why. I just put it on the highest setting. So I'm going to turn that on. That way be it loud in here, my friends. Then what you're going to do is press the happy button at the top of your machine, and we are going to let this cut. It's going to take a total of 1 minute and 55 seconds to do all of the cuts. Super, super fast machine. While we wait for the machine to get done cutting, I'm going to pull this out of the wall, and I'm going to open this up, okay? We are going to insert the large flatbed into the EufyMake UV printer. This is this new Forever mat, which I love because not only is it saving the consumable sticky mat, but also it's going to help me make sure that what I put on here is nice and straight. And so I did have like issues of alignment before this because, ow, this pinched my finger. But not anymore because now I can put these in there. They're like they look like little Lego pieces, but they're not. They're silicone pieces. We're going to put that in there and we're going to have wonderful straight acrylic sticks. Okay. I'm going to lock this into place and we'll just bring this forward so we can put in these Lego pieces when it's done cut. Okay. So my sticks are now done cutting. Whoop, look at that. And all we're going to do is just whip those right out. Just like this, perfect cuts. So here is the deal, my friends. You know how sometimes when I'm trying to think of the easiest way to explain this to you, because there is going to be 3 options of print settings that you can do for this project. And it's kind of, I'm going to try and do it as not as confusing as possible. It's really confusing in my brain. Okay. So there's going to be 3 different ways that you print this project. One way is going to do CMYK white and then CMYK, which would give you a finished look that's like this. So the dog is on both sides. One of these dogs is actually reverse. Technically, you would be able to tell if he actually had like this, if he had something with writing on it, you would be able to tell which side is reversed and which one is not, okay? You could also do just CMYK and white. It would give you a finished look, something like this. The front would look like this. The back would be white. You could do that. There's no right or wrong answer. There is a third option here, and I do not have a, no, I don't have something visual to be able to show you off the top of my head. So you're just going to have to roll with me. Okay. This right here, I printed directly on top of the acrylic. This is the finished look. Okay. If you want your dog or whoever to have the look of this, where technically it's the clear acrylic on top and the dog is on the back. Okay. That's the third option. I will explain all of that when we go to the printing portion inside the software, but just know there is going to be 3 different ways to print it. Now, if you are wanting either the dog, it doesn't matter if it is 1 layer of color or 2 layers of color, okay? If you want this dog to be underneath this acrylic, what you're going to do is flip your cutouts, okay? These were the fronts. I need to have the backs facing towards me. Did I lose you? Because I told you, this is the most confusing portion of the entire project. I should have chosen something that had wording on it just so then you could fully understand. But I'm sure we're all smart individuals. I'm sure I didn't lose you there. I would hate for you to be lost in this though. So this was the front. I am going to peel the back of the acrylic. I'm only going to do one side right now because my mat is dirty and I don't want to dirty up my acrylic, my nicely cut acrylic, okay? So I'm going to take this and I'm going to lay it down onto my mat, back side up, unless you're printing directly on top of your acrylic like this, okay? Then you want to do the front side, the top side towards the sky, okay? All right, 2 down. Put that in here. We're going to worry about these little Lego pieces in a second. Okay, we have all 4 of those things put on the tray. I am going to use this right here. Now, I know it says metal on here, but it's the same thing. You could also use it for plastic. If you don't want to use this, you could use rubbing alcohol. That's fine too. But this just helps promote the adhesion of the ink so it doesn't like flake off. You don't want your UV to be flaking off into your drinks, okay? I did put a glove on my hand because the last time I used this, it ate away at my gel nail polish, leaving me having to redo my nails. So I'm just going to pull out this thing and I'm only going to rub where the ink is going to go on all, of my cutouts. Then I'm just going to stick this back in its bag. And I'll leave my thing off. Okay. Then what you're going to do is taking these little pieces right here. I'm going to put one in. It doesn't really matter where you put it in, but I'm just going to do it like that. So it just goes nice and straight. These little pieces right here are going to be my guide. Nice and straight. Okay. Then there's something else. This is one of the coolest parts of it is now you don't even have to create a jig. Okay. I'm going to put this here and I'm going to make sure these are down touching here. So I'm going to do it like this and touch here. So if you wanted to create multiples of these, you never actually have to realign after you do it once, okay? Because this is technically your jig. It is the funkiest looking jig, but it does work. Trust me, okay? I actually will cut more just so I can show you that the jig does jig, okay? Funny looking jig, but it will jig. Just like that, making sure it is pushed all the way to the left and then down on all of these. Okay, there we go. All right, so now over at the computer, what you're gonna do is you're gonna head over into Inkscape, all right? Now remember what I told you. We are going to need to flip these because technically we're now printing on the back, unless you are gonna put directly on top of your acrylic. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna export them just like this, okay? But I'm going to take one bear and I'm going to flip it, but I'm going to mirror. I'm going to do the same with this one. I'm only going to do 2. I know that we have 4 here, but you want to make sure to export these as individual files, okay? So I'm going to take one bear. I'm going to drag it away. I'm going to upgrade my DPIs to 600. And then I'm going to make sure and change this from SVG to PNG. And I'm going to rename this. I'm going to name this small bear. Okay, then I'm going to press save. Do the same for this one. All right, we are going to make sure it's at the same DPIs, PNG. I'm going to rename this large bear. Okay, and then just press save. All right, now we're going to go into finally the EufyMake Studio software and we are going to press the plus sign. At this point, what you can do is once it opens up, is you can do a snapshot. So that's going to start doing a snapshot. Then what we can do is our more work. So we are going to open up, we are going to drag and drop small bear. We are going to drag and drop large bear. Okay, we got large and small. Now for both of these, I want to do CMYK white and then CMYK. If you only wanted to do white and then CMYK, you can totally do that. All right, that's the world is your oyster. But I'm going to do both. So we're going to do CMYK white and then CMYK. I don't know if you can see this, but do you see that I am getting a call? Who has the "you've been approved for your loan but you never applied for" business? It's so annoying. It's gross. Okay, then what I'm going to do is click out of that and I'm going to go from material. I'm going to come over here to unknown. We are doing acrylic. So I'm going to click on acrylic and that should be pretty much it. Until, well, we're going to need multiples of these. So I'm going to select both. I'm going to copy and paste. Command C, Command V. Again, if you don't want to do your keyboard shortcuts, you can right click and do copy and paste or even duplicate. Okay. We are now just waiting for the snapshot to get done doing its thing. It's the longest process. You could use the small flatbed for today's project, but then you would have to rotate things and it just makes things a lot harder. I'm trying not to make it as confusing as possible because see, flipping all those 3 different print options, I felt like that was looking that we have one confusing thing. We don't need to continue making things confusing, you know? All right. Now that is done, what we are going to do is zoom in. Okay. Zooming for me, again, is going to be this on my trackpad. You could also come over here and do zoom in and zoom out right there. But I'm going to take my bear and I'm going to line him up onto his cutouts. Okay. We got some cute little stir sticks getting ready to print. Now what we are going to do is just press print. I am supposed to do some maintenance. I will do that after I'm done printing. So I will get that done. I don't want to do it today, but I'm going to have to, unfortunately. Okay, this is going to take a total of 13 minutes and 45 seconds plus 2 minutes to moisturize. Or to clean or inject or something like that. It's going to take 0.77 milliliters. It's 50 cents a milliliter. So we're less than 50 cents of being used for today's project. We're just going to press start and let this print. Now I am going to cut out 4 more of these just so you can see that this jig will jig. Okay.
Okie dokie, we have our finished stir sticks. How stinking cute are these? We're going to peel them here in a second, but let's talk about the next four, okay? We had two big ones, two little ones here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the two big ones. They're already prepped and ready to go, and I'm going to lay them down just like this, all the way to the left and then down. These ones, all the way left and down, making sure that it's all the way left and down, just like what we did when we first put it in there. Then over at the EufyMake UV printer, instead of pressing finish or publish, what you want to do is press reprint, because we're going to print the same things again, okay? Just press print, and I'm just going to press continue. And now this is now printing again. So don't have to do another snapshot, and it's just going to start printing, saving us a bunch of time. While we wait for that to get done printing, what we can do is peel the masking tape off of the four that we've already printed. It's the same way you peeled it off the first time, you can peel it off the second time. And here is the back, here's the front. So cute. And we have our final four, and they're all the same printed way as the first ones. The jig was jigging. All right, my beautiful crafty friends. Hopefully you did not find this tutorial as confusing as I think I made it in my head. Let me know what you think about these projects in the comments of this video. And I sure hope you had so much fun hanging out with me, and I'll see you next time.